Hi everyone, my name is Chloe. I'm 19 now, and I live in the United States. I'm a physics student, and this is the most personal, painful, and ultimately satisfying story of my life. If you've ever been betrayed, disrespected, or underestimated, you'll understand the fire that kept me going. And if you've ever dreamed of justice, real justice, then stick with me until the end. And hey, if this story resonates with you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to believe that karma is real. When I first walked into college at 17, I felt like an imposter. I was younger than everyone else, smaller too, with a face that still looked like I belonged in high school. People stared at me. Some professors even mistook me for someone's little sister tagging along. But physics was my world. Numbers, equations, quantum theories, they were my language, my comfort, my escape. While other kids were still trying to figure out what they wanted to do, I already had a thesis proposal that I believed could shake the field of quantum entanglement. I worked nights, scribbling formulas on my dorm room walls, running code until my eyes burned. I felt like I was standing on the edge of something huge. And then there was Dr. Evans. Dr. Evans was brilliant, or at least, that's what everyone said. Tall, charismatic, with silver hair that made him look wise, and a smile that could melt away doubts. Students adored him. Faculty respected him. He was the kind of professor who could turn a lecture into theater. And he had a reputation for mentoring young female students. At first, I thought it was kindness. He invited me to his office, praised my potential, called me gifted, special, one in a million. He said he wanted to help me develop my thesis. 17-year-old me felt honored. I trusted him. I thought, finally, someone sees me for who I really am. But I didn't know then, he wasn't helping me. He was harvesting me. I'll never forget the night I realized I had shared my thesis proposal with him, pages and pages of handwritten notes, a model of entanglement that combined decoherence and many worlds theory in a way no one else had dared. A month later, he presented at a faculty seminar. I sat in the back, my heart swelling with pride, waiting to hear him credit me, maybe even call me out as his student collaborator. But as he clicked through his slides, my stomach dropped. Those were my equations, my diagrams, my words. And he wasn't crediting me. Not once. He spoke as if every insight, every spark, every original thought had come from him. The room applauded. Professors nodded, impressed. He was showered with praise for my work. When I confronted him afterward, my voice shaking, he leaned back in his chair and smiled. "Chloe," he said softly, "you're very young. Nobody would believe you. This is how academia works. If you want a future, stay close to me. I'll make sure you succeed, as long as you don't make trouble." The world tilted under me. I felt powerless, invisible, crushed under the weight of his certainty. I wish I could say I fought back immediately. But I didn't. For 2 years, I swallowed my rage. I watched as he secured a massive research grant using my work. I watched as publishers lined up for his groundbreaking book. I watched as he strutted through the halls, basking in glory that wasn't his. People told me how lucky I was to be mentored by him. I smiled weakly, even as bile burned my throat. At night, I cried into my pillow, whispering my equations like a prayer, terrified they'd slip away from me entirely, that I'd become nothing more than a ghost haunting my own ideas. But in that silence, something inside me hardened. I grew older, sharper, smarter, and I learned to wait. The announcement came my sophomore year. Dr. Evans would be the keynote speaker at an international physics conference. The crown jewel of his career. The book deal was finalized. He was going to be untouchable. Unless. That's when the idea sparked. Not a wild scream. Not an accusation that would be drowned out by his reputation. No. Something quieter. Deadlier. I realized I didn't need to prove he stole from me. I just needed to let him prove he knew nothing. I registered for the conference as a graduate student. I saved every penny I had from tutoring jobs, skipped meals, pawned my old laptop to afford the travel. And I prepared. Oh, I prepared. I dug out every early draft of my thesis, the ones with crossed-out equations, the false starts, the half-baked interpretations. The notes only I would know. And I rehearsed questions, dozens of them, layered, precise, polite. Each one a trapdoor. I wasn't going to accuse him. I was going to ask. And I was going to watch him crumble under the weight of his own lies. The conference hall was enormous. Hundreds of physicists from around the world. Murmuring, notebooks ready. And there he was, on stage, glowing with pride, standing taller than ever. I sat in the front row. My hands were steady. My heart wasn't. It hammered against my ribs, but beneath the fear was something hotter, justice. He began his speech. He spoke with confidence, weaving theories he barely understood. The audience was spellbound, and when he finished, the applause was thunderous. Then came the Q&A. I raised my hand. He saw me, smiled, thought I was just another fan. Yes, young lady, your question? My voice was clear, louder than I expected. Dr. Evans, that was a fascinating overview of the quantum causality model in Chapter 7. He beamed. Thank you. Yes, it's a complex. I'm curious, I interrupted gently. In your initial proposal, you argued for a decoherence-based interpretation. Could you walk us through your intellectual process for shifting to the many worlds framework you just presented? It's such a radical pivot from your early notes. Silence. The kind of silence that hums, thick and suffocating. His smile faltered. His eyes flickered. Because he had no idea what I was talking about. I tilted my head, pretending to help. Perhaps you could also expand on the notational shift you made in the third revision, before you abandoned the stochastic model entirely? Murmurs rippled through the audience. Heads turned. Brows furrowed. Dr. Evans stammered, tried to bluff. His voice cracked. Because those notes weren't his. They were mine. I asked another question. And another. Each sharper. Each digging deeper into knowledge only the true author could possess. With every answer, he sank further, his ignorance laid bare. The audience's awe twisted into horror. Colleagues whispered. Pens stopped moving. The great Dr. Evans, the genius, the mentor, the idol, was unraveling live on stage. And all I did was ask questions. By the time I sat down, the damage was irreversible. He looked pale, sweating, desperate. The applause that followed wasn't applause at all. It was scattered, hesitant, pitying. Within weeks, the grant was frozen. The book deal suspended. An investigation launched. His reputation didn't just fall. It evaporated. And me? For the first time, I felt seen. Not as a prodigy, not as a victim, but as a woman who had reclaimed her voice. Sometimes revenge isn't about screaming louder than the person who hurt you. Sometimes, it's about patience. About letting them dig their own grave, and then simply pointing to it. Dr. Evans thought I was invisible. Too young, too naive, too powerless. But the truth is, the quietest voice in the room can be the deadliest when it finally speaks. And the sweetest revenge? I didn't destroy him. I just revealed that he was never real to begin with. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and subscribe for more true stories of justice served cold. And tell me in the comments, have you ever seen someone get exactly what they deserved, not by force, but by the truth? Because trust me, sometimes the truth is the sharpest weapon of all. If this story moved you, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, have you ever seen justice finally land? What made it satisfying for you? If you're struggling, reach out to someone you trust. You don't have to carry the weight alone. Subscribe for more stories where ordinary people find their extraordinary moments.